last week, we have refreshed ourselves, right? We have refreshed ourselves on what is AIS. Okay, are you all here? Remember what happened last week? Well, no, huh? I also don't remember what happened last week because our brain have limited input. Limited input? No, not really. Our brain have two cerebrum over here. Once inputted inside them, it will be lost inside there until event can trigger it through your prospect over here. Then it will trigger your memory. Then you will get back your whatever you want to recall. Basically, it's ROM lah. Right, your ROM. You got what I mean? Then your RAM, your brain works like this. But anyway, let's just come back over here. Enough for the startup talking over here. AIS, I defined to you from last week. Give you a very vague opening. So this week I will tell you what is AIS. AIS over here basically is about what I would say. Okay. What I would say is a place or is something for you to store. Not store yet, right? You have to record first. Record, process, and store the data to transform or process it to become the information. All right, simple as that, right? This kind of statement should be inside your head. It's some place or something or some software, all right, for you to record, process, and store data to be transformed into information. All right, information that you will use for later decision making, something like that, right? And we are looking at the AIS, which is the one that actually the tools, all right, help us to do it. But that are the kind of layman definition, right? When we go into technical, over here. We actually we can break this down into what I would say. We can break this down into multiple components. Over here, see this one over here. All right. How many components are there in AIS? All right, this is the question. How many components are there in AIS? Let's go inside here. Do you remember them all? Hey, where's the guy? Ashri, right? Ashri, where's him? He's not here yet, huh? Or he's not planning to come after the last week lesson. Or he's getting his burger, right? Over here is 6 components altogether, all right? We have 6 components. And what is AIS? AIS, as I tell you, defined to you in layman term, but we go into technical bit of this AIS is, it can be defined as 6 components, all right? First of all is the inside AIS, all right? Imagine inside a system, all right? An accounting information system. Because we can define it in different perspective, depending on the person that defined it. But usually, when it goes back to the academic, it goes back to the theory. It is broken down into 6 components, and the first component we have to make this system work or to have is the people, right? The people, the user, right? The user themselves, all right, is the first component in the AIS, all right? The people over here. People or the user, all right? It can be the user, it can be the one that receiving the information, it can be the people, right? Anyone, right? It can be anyone that are directly or indirectly involved with the system, all right? Then we will have the system, which is the software. Before we have the software is the, not the data, software. Before that one, what we're going to have, the people with the, before you go to the software, what are you going to go through first? The hardware, right? The IT infrastructure, all right? You got the people, we have the IT infrastructure, all right? You got the IT infrastructure, all right? You got the IT infrastructure, people, IT infrastructure, then only you go into the software, right? You go into the software, like your friend said over there. So go into software, and what do you have inside the software? You have the data, yes, you will have the data over here, and of course you have the process, right? Process for what? These are the process over here, right? We have the people that use the infrastructure. The IT means the computer system, the computer, all right, the hardware, or whatever devices that access to the information system, all right? Then the software itself, and then the software is for what purpose? All right, the purpose of the software is to help the user, or to help the people over here to capture, to record, to store the informations, all right, or data to become informations, all right. Over here is the process, and how you get the information. You get it from the data to be transformed into the through the process, all right, to become the informations that we want. And of course, all of these will not work, all right, if you don't follow the procedure, right? You don't follow the steps. So you can set up later in your plan, all right, in your plan, when you're going to develop your system, you can set up a beautiful system, a working system that is fully efficient and effective. But the people inside there did not follow the procedure, right? They just straight away go into the last step and want to ask for maybe the required documents. And maybe we are talking about, let's say, sales, all right? Before they can even ask for the receipt, they have to go through the process first, right? From ordering until the part where they pay and they get the receipt. So what happened over here, if there's no control, there's no procedures, then someone might violate the system, all right? That is the one I want to point out too, all right? It might violate the system, and in the end of the day, all of this will not work. So over here we have the procedures or the controls, all right? What do we have there? Procedures and controls, is it? Procedures and controls. And controls. And this actually covers the whole thing over here, all right? So we can see over here, that is the AIS, all right? That is the AIS that you should have learned. And then now we are doing is, all right, another one more thing I would like to highlight over here is the process. This is the process that you should have also inside your mind already, all right? These are the basic 5 process over here, all right? They are, right? There are 5, I would say, typical process that you will expect yourself to know. So first of all, of course, I already go through with you. These are the processes. The core of all this process is the record to report, all right? This is also known as the finance, all right? Finance cycle, all right? Finance cycle is what we have known previously, but now they make it more detailed as a record to report, all right? Finance cycle basically covers what over here. It covers from journal recording to report generation, all right? But before you can go up to the report generation, you have to do some adjustment, right? Adjustment, for example, the depreciations, you need to do some, what kind of adjustment some more? What kind of adjustment some more you can think of? Bad debt? What kind of adjustment, yeah? You have learned MFRS, right? So you should have known which kind of adjustment you'll be expected to see inside the finance cycle. So you're doing finance. What kind of adjustment some more? Usually in a company, we can think about very simple, very basic is the interest. Remember? You got like interest loan, those kind of adjustment, all right? You will not find inside any of this cycle, right? Financing, all right? Those investment stuff related. Maybe you need to do some recording on your amortization costs, all right? Those kind of adjustment. You will do it in the finance cycle. What kind of things some more you can think of over here? In a big company, you will do the consolidation also over here, right? But does the company, the MNC, do it, or does they just give it to the auditor to handle the consolidation? All right, that's a big question mark, right? So sometimes systems are able to consolidate the reports for you. They are the record to report, right? So sometimes systems are unable to do so. So these are all inside the procedure, and different companies will have different processes, all right? Are they practicing them right or wrong? The question here goes back to how they define their own cycle, all right? There's no exact answer to real life practice, all right? In real life practice, a company A might be using the system to generate whatever they want automatically, but company B might not be doing that, all right? They'll be just giving it to the auditor to help them for the reporting, all right? But a good company, all right, that follows the framework, that actually goes back to the audit framework, all right? They should have a proper internal control. Internal control actually tied back to these processes over here. You can see over here, order to cash, this is the revenue cycle, all right? We got the procure to payment, which is the expenditure cycle, all right? We have the hire to retire, all right, which is the HR, all right, HR or payroll, HR and payroll cycle, all right? And we got, of course, the production or the conversion cycle over here. And if they followed exactly the standards framework for their controls, they should have a proper procedures plus a working system. That is the one that we are looking at, the system, right? And these two things come neck and neck, all right? They are together, they are family. They are like a husband and wife, all right? They should have a good system, you should have a good procedure, all right? So these are basically the AIS that we are talking about, all right? This is what our focus should be on, all right? And okay, over here is the basic what I would say, overview, all right, the recap that should start your brain to think, right? Now, what happened in over time, all right? After some time, all right, let us start with this burger store, right? The burger store, right? We have the burger store, remember? So burger store, they are small business, and the store, they might just have like 5 to 10 customer, and then they might come and then they can do the ordering, and then the person just maybe cook the burger and sell it, right? So what happened over time, the business become bigger, right? the business, hopefully the business become bigger, right? Because you sell, your ultimate goal is to earn more, right? So in a business, so I'm giving an analogy back again over here. When a business become bigger, all right, then their process over here, the AIS over here. So in previously, they might just have their own notebook, right? Their own notebook to write down, or they have their own file to file all the receipt of their purchases, okay? And they might just, at the end of the day, calculate the petty cash, which is inside the box, how much they earn, and then they record as their income. And then the conversion is very simple. He's the one that, maybe the seller is the one that do the sales, the one that convert the material, the raw material into the finished goods, which is the burger. And he's the one, maybe he's the one that deciding the cost, how much each burger should be at the selling price. You got that mean? And he is the only one, maybe he got his wife, all right, as the cashier. Okay, maybe 2 person only. All right, these are all basic idea about the business for a small burger store. And their record, maybe they just use a book, right? A notebook. You know that last time we have this book, we call this 555. You know this book? You know, did you? Yeah, it's a small book. It's a small 555 notebook, all right? This is the notebook that we record usually how much, like what kind of small information that they want, all right? Probably this is at that stage, all right? I'm just giving you some analogy on that level, all right? And what happened is when time passed, all right, this, after certain time, all right, this business become bigger, right? We are hoping that this business become bigger, and when it become bigger, you're gonna expect more customer, right? How you gonna evaluate a business growth? A business growth you can evaluate on multiple perspectives, and one of it is when you have a lot of customer, right? You have got a lot of customer means your business is growing. Is it or is it not? It should be lah, right? If you have a lot of customer means you're expecting your business to grow. And when your business grow, you go back over here, all your process will become inefficient. It might be efficient when you handle maybe up to 50 customer or 100 customer. Is it 100? I think possible lah, right? 100 customer, maybe 50 lah, right? 50 customer throughout, not at the same time, all right? The keyword over here is you can handle maybe 100 customer, but not at the same time, but maybe 5 per time, all right? You get 5 customer coming in a row constantly up to 20 times, all right? So 5 times 20 is 100 times, 100 customer, all right? Then suddenly your business boom, all right? And you have 100 customer that comes, 100 customer, that's a little bit too much, right? Maybe 10 customer, right? 10 customer that will come every time, and the rate, the frequency of it is maybe from last time, maybe between 10 minutes, now they are coming within 5 minutes. All right, can you see that? They are all interconnected, all right? This is how you think the scenario. And what happened is you are unable to cook for them all, right, at the same time. That's the first issue. Second issue is you will not be able to get all the material in time, all right? You will not be able to record all your sales transactions, all right? That's the key over there. You will not be able to accurately determine, all right, how much, what is the exact amount for you to record. And it goes up to this one, all right, when the business grow, all right? This is the first factor when you need to start to go back to your system, or I'm highlighting why do you need to analyze and develop new system, all right, or procedure for your businesses. Why is it this re-evaluation of your process and your system over here. These are the process. Why is it required? Is it a must? Is it a force? It goes back to when time kicks in and the business grow. All right, business grow, then you will expect your process over here will become inefficient. And when you became inefficient, you will find yourself in a little bit trouble, right? So first reason over here we can say is when the growth of the business, all right? Business becoming bigger. And of course over here we can say about the technology, all right? The software you're using might be outdated. So for example, not software, this guy over here, he might be just using the 555 book, or notebook, manually writing. And because of the increase in their sales, they cannot capture the sales accurately anymore, all right? And even if you have, maybe the person will hire another cook, all right, for helping him, and another cashier maybe, another cashier. We usually don't do that, right? If you're in a business, but if it's too big, all right, you have to hire someone. And when you hire someone, that person, all right, over here, this hire, all right, that person is not your family, all right, it's not part of you. So that person might be, all right, the big word might be, all right, might be putting the money inside to their pocket, all right, instead of putting into the petty cash. So remember how you record your cash is for this person, they just check the petty box, right? And then that is the sales. So what happened is, without proper record, the money might just go down to the pocket, right? And that will create the tendency, right? It means that it will not be accurate. And you cannot blame that person, all right? Because of the fraud triangle. Remember the fraud triangle? The concept of the fraud triangle? All right, when there's opportunity, that person will go for it, you know? It's like money laying down in front of you, all right? If the person have the opportunity, the person will just take it and put it in the pocket, all right? Logic, all right, when you think about the psychological aspect. So what over here is also when the process become inefficient. So for example, just now I tell you, with maybe multiple, a lot of customer coming in, the process of recording their order is no longer efficient. Maybe we got 3 customers coming in to you, asking you for burger A, and then B, and then C, and then this particular person say, burger A don't want the sauce. Then you forgot, you put everything with the sauce. What happened? Chaos, right? The customer come to you, hey, no, don't put the sauce. Then you have to recook, and then the person might not be happy with you, and in the end, the customer might just go away. So what you have to do is you have to improve your process. So it must be, maybe you will do a recording on their order first, and then pass it to the person that cook in a monitor, maybe. Then the person don't have to think about what to cook, you know? So these are the process that you're gonna see after time, all right? Over time, it will change. And also, over here, with what we call the imaging technology, all right? The imaging technology. This is when the QR code come in, you know, those kind of things that you need to implement. Previously, maybe you just have the system record for cash, point of sale system without, maybe you already upgrade, right? Maybe this guy already upgrade their system. They have their own cash box already with with whatever equipment that they need, but they don't have the way or the means to capture the QR code, all right? Then that would also force them to reanalyze their process, and they have to introduce again the things, all right? Introduce again their process. So that's where we actually goes down to today's lesson, which is the SDLC. All right, let me just